And thanks to everyone who came today, who made the journey from, maybe you're a local, maybe you've come from another country. I'm definitely going to deliver some of the things that made the arm lock one of my favorite techniques. I didn't start out very good at the arm lock, but over time, I've studied people. It's very important to study people that are experts, and I've stolen all of their techniques, and I'm going to give them all to you. Okay. So let's have everyone, for this seminar, not everybody needs to be, we're just going to line up for right now, but anyone can be anywhere they'd like for the instruction, okay? So let's go ahead and circle up, and I'll start with Bart on his back, and we're going to just cut right to like our first arm lock, and this will be a little bit of a warm-up as well. Okay. We're just gonna, so much of jiu-jitsu is just rocking your weight from one side to the other, going right, left. And what that does, it makes one side of your body really light, so you can lift a leg. So let's just start by pulling his arm across his chest and drop our chest down. Okay, that's the pin. There's a principle I really want to go over. Pinning and moving, right? So it's important to pin our opponent so that we can move. I slide my knee all the way up to the head. I flip my leg, and in order to flip my leg, I have to put my weight into my left leg here. So I'm leaning to the left, and I can flip my leg. Now I put all my weight into the right. Small circle over the head, and then I can sit back for the arm lock, okay? And I don't want anyone like locking out the arm yet. We have a lot of jiu-jitsu to do. Let's start. Just take this arm across. Don't worry about, he could just pull his arm back. We're not going there right now. Pull it across. Pin it with your chest. This is very, very useful. I like to scoop under this other arm, and I slide my knee all the way up to the head. If you just slide it up to the shoulder, you might be able to get it, but usually your hip is going to be out of position, right? It's better if your hip, the knot of your belt, is at his shoulder. So that means you got to be up here in line with his shoulders. That means your knee has to go all the way up. Let's do it on the other side. Pull that across. Drop my chest. Slide the knee all the way up to the head. Flip your leg. And then I transfer the weight to his chest. Small circle over the head, fall back, and then just let the arm go. Scissor. And come back. One last time. Okay? Pull the arm. Pin it with your chest. Bring the knee all the way up. Transfer the weight to your left leg so I can flip my right leg. Now I transfer the weight to the right. Small circle. You can take the arm lock here first. Then fall back and repeat. Okay? Nice and slow. Let's warm up. 1, 2, 3. So a principle I've been talking about a lot in the last year is pinning and moving, right? I want to pin him so I can move. And I'm actually going to show a little bit of guard passing just for a second to illustrate the principle, and then you can see it in the arm lock, right? So if I pin him in position and then move myself, see, I can change the distance between our hips. He's staying in place. That's why I push down to pin him, so I'm able to move. Same thing if I'm up top and I'm passing the guard, I'm coming around, I'm pinning him with my body weight, and then I can move, so our relative position can shift. Right? What I call this move and move, if you just keep your guard closed. If I move back and he's moving too, like nothing's happening, right? I have to move, and I have to keep him pinned in order to do that effectively, right? Where I'm controlling the distance. So when it comes to the arm lock, it's the same thing. I need to use my weight to pin him, and we're gonna just go over a little bit more here. This is looking good, okay? Scoop underneath. Most people went all the way to the top of the head, looking solid. Flip your leg. This is one thing that a lot of beginners will do this. All right. And this gap is big. I mean, that's a huge escape hole for a black belt or somebody who's really, really good. That's why you need to keep the back of your hamstring in contact with him to pin him as I circle. So this is the move right here, right? My hamstring pins him. I swipe. You can hold, but if you can use your elbow, it's going to be even better. Grab your own gi. Transfer the weight to your hand so that I can pin him, do a small circle here. Beginners will do that. Advanced people will make a small circle. Try to take that top arm lock, and then when you fall back, hook the leg. And then you find it down, okay? So same thing. We're going to clean it up just a little bit. Then we'll do a follow-up. So pull the arm across. Trap it with your chest. Come underneath the arm. Everyone looked really good with their slide up. Keep the back of your hamstring connected to him. Transfer the weight and hook it with, not your hand, hook it with your elbow. Small circle, get one tap up top, then let your hips hit the mat. And if you want, you can either grab this leg, this is cool, or you can grab this leg and finish your arm lock. We can talk about the different arm lock positions in a minute. Here versus here versus here. But let's just kind of keep this going. I'll show them the other side. Block it with your chest. Slide all the way up. Keep your hamstring in contact. Flip that leg. Transfer the weight. Small circle. Boom, tap number one. Then the hips hit the ground. Get tap number two. Okay, so let's tighten it up just a bit. 1, 2, 3. Really good. I can tell, like, people are flowing a little bit better. You're in good communication with your partners. It's so important to be like, oh, that's getting tight. Tap early. It's no, like, there are no medals on the line today. Like, you get nothing for holding out on the arm lock. Tap early. And you want to make everything as tight as possible. Now, let's talk about variations. You know, there's many ways to make a technique work. There are many ways to choke. I'm pretty good at chokes, but I saw kind of my jiu-jitsu grandfather, Joe Moreira. I went to one of his seminars, and he did his chokes. He did kind of a variation where instead of a deep grip, he went medium grip and used his wrists and the neck more, and it made me think, am I doing chokes wrong? You know, because there are many ways to do it. You just need enough leverage to make the technique happen. So there's really no wrong in jiu-jitsu. There's more efficient and less efficient. In some ways that we consider wrong are like not efficient at all. But with this, you know, we're coming around. You can absolutely go shin over, or you can do small circle right here. That's fine. You come back. You can totally use your hand. Boom. Especially if that slips out, you can use your hand here, knees together. Let's talk about what makes a really, I think it's a good moment to think about the mechanics of an arm lock. Okay? The mechanics. What does that mean? The individual components of a technique. So when I was a blue belt, I could kind of do an arm lock sometimes. I could get to the position, but it wasn't great. It was more like, it was kind of like this. It was like my legs are too straight. The thumb is a little bit out of position. I mean, I'm in the perpendicular angle, but it's not really good. So how do we improve it? Number one, pull your heels to your butt. Now, there's different ways you can do that. You can either cross your ankles and pull in at the shoulders and push in with your hips. This is one way to get a tightness. But there's a looseness in the knees, like there's space here that they can exploit. This is one option. I typically teach it with independent leg action. So one foot pulls at the neck, the other one pulls in the armpit. Okay? Second thing, knees together. Very, very important. For any knee bar, any arm lock, you need tight knees so that you're squeezing. And then this will never touch the groin area because you're biting so tight with your thighs. Number 3, we want to hook with our elbow tight enough so that I'm biting his wrist. I can steer this if I need to. Then I can reinforce. So heels to your butt, knees together, bite the wrist, fall back. When it gets tight, they tap, and then you have this entire range of motion. You can continue if you want. So let's work on getting our arm lock really tight and perfecting that. And I want you in communication with your partners. Like, oh no, there's a little room here. No, pull your heels more. Little tighter squeeze with your knees. These are all really important dynamics. Heels to your butt, knees together. Wrap that wrist, reinforce. Fall back slowly and get the tap. I want this to be the tightest arm lock you've ever done, okay? With your partners. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do one follow-up here. I thought everyone did really well pulling the heels, pinching your knees, adjusting on the wrist. Of those 3, the pinching of the knees is the most important. Okay, and we'll do an arm lock that really illustrates that in a minute. But right now, I want to follow up with, we're going to do the same sequence, and we're going to follow it to, let's do it. And we'll go into an Americana as a follow-up, okay? I use this a lot. We pull the arm across, I drop my chest, we're doing the same sequence, everyone's looking good. This time he pulls the arm out. He pulls the arm out. I want to surf him. So here's what not to do. Oh, I lost the arm lock. Oh, let me start over, right? You have to keep your gains. You're in top position. You probably worked hard for that top position. Don't just give it up. So when we're taking the arm lock and he pulls it back, I surf for the underhook right here, and then go for the Americana because he's going to be framing me. Almost everyone's going to be angled in because they just pulled that out, right? So you can just come right back into the Americana. If he escapes that Americana, if he straightens it out all the way down, boom. Now we're in the spinning arm lock. So that's the sequence. This is a continuous sequence. We pull the arm. We come up. We hook. He pulls that out. That's okay. You should look at the head. Don't turn toward the feet. You want to turn toward the head. You know, right now, boom, we head into the Americana. Even if you don't hit the Americana, you get the underhook and then take a side control position. But most of the time, if they have a good instinct, they're going to be blocking and framing you right there. So you hit the wrist, come in for the Americana, bam, he straightens it, rolls it all the way down, pull it right to your chest, okay? So my forearm is in front of him. This is the pin so that I can move. I'm pinning him. I put my hand out about belt level, straighten my leg, and then swivel. Tight knees, fall back, and we have our arm lock, okay? Let me do it on the other side. We pull the arm across. All of this is great. He pulls that back. I go toward the head. I'm shooting for the underhook here. He frames, boom, Americana. A lot of guys, well, you might be able to hit the straight arm lock from here, but honestly, most of the time, guys are kind of freaked out and they just roll it all the way. That's the real reaction, right? So, as he does that, we pull our forearm in front of his chest. And if you guys just, for a few reps want to just do this, Americana, he rolls it all the way down. Boom. Go right there. Okay. I want my hand to go at the belt line. If I'm too close, I run into myself. So, hand out, straighten the leg, swivel down, knees together, and take your arm lock. Okay. That's a lot of techniques, but I wanted to show you the whole thing. And if we need to come back and work on a couple details, we will. But let me do it one last time. You guys are getting pretty good at this sequence now. So here, take the arm right there. All right, with your partners, 1, 2, 3. Even though I did the last repetition fast, that doesn't mean you need to do it fast. You don't have to do it. It's better to do it slow and then just kind of, you flow into a higher tempo. Okay, a couple of things. For the person on the bottom, I mentioned this a few times. For the person on the bottom, when they pull this out, kind of go to a defensive frame here, because that's a little more real. That's a little more real. You're not going to be like this, right? So you're kind of curled up. He's got the frame, yeah, and then that's a good target to hit this. Then, when I do the spinning arm lock, when we're down here, and again, you don't have to do this fast. We can hold this for a while. If we're tired and he's a big guy, we can kind of like let him suffer, cook him a little bit, if we need to. Okay. Really put your hand in line with the belt right here. In line. Don't have it at the shoulder because you're going to run into yourself. I want you to put the hand out near the belt line and no toes exposed. I want the toes tucked underneath him. So I'm going to straighten and then I swivel, no friction. Toes go deep, deep, deep under the back. And then I'm pinching on that shoulder as I come up. Okay? The way we land here is a little bit more 45 degrees than sometimes. This is like the typical cross-body juji gatame or cross-body arm lock, okay? And there are many leg positions you can have. You can have this over there. There's a little more security in that. You can have this leg on this side. This is totally fine. You can also be here. You probably won't land here at this bottom 45 if you do that technique. But all of these are okay, you know? This is strong. This is also really strong. He's got a weak shoulder here, but it's easier for him to hitchhike escape. This is good, kind of a good all-around position. This is also good because I prevent him from escaping, but his elbow is closer to his ribs, so sometimes they're stronger in pulling that down. So there are advantages and disadvantages to every position that we have. But let's try to bury that foot underneath their back. The deeper you get your foot, the tighter the arm lock is going to be. So we'll just start with this Americana. And if you want to just do this Americana, totally fine. I'll do it on both sides. We go with the Americana. Boom. He rolls it all the way down. We stuff it. I tripod up. Because the best way to accelerate is using gravity. That's like the free ride. So all you have to do is elevate and then take the slide down, right? Just like an Efteling or something. So come up, swivel, my toe is buried under there. And then we can fall back, pull that heel in, take the arm lock. One last time. We'll just start with, if you just want to drill this portion, that's totally fine. Start with the Americana. He rolls it down all the way. Boom. Pull it in. Hand out. Elevate the hips so you can get that free ride from gravity. Knees together. Take your arm lock. If you want to do it that slow, that's a good challenge. Okay? With your partners. 1, 2, 3. You have to make it work from here, but if you can, you want to bring it back.
Yeah, it's also my motion because I want to go this way.
Yeah, I'm taking advantage of your natural defensive motion. Yeah. So let's examine this. I really like using my elbow on the sternum. And what we'll do is we want to, I use the analogy of you open the door. You can fit through the door if it's like this. But you got to position yourself just right. Right? It's better if you can lift him and open the door and expose that area to rotate into. So one exercise I like to show, or I just like to show people, especially the like purple brown belt, you don't have to have 100% control. My teacher blew my mind. He said, you only need 51% control, Roy. And I was like, what? But people feel better if they have 100% control, right? We want to feel more secure, but if you're educated in like how much room they actually have to escape, you're okay with like 60% control, 70%. It's totally fine. So I'm going to control him very loosely for a second. I can pull this in, and pull him up. Also, if he rolls away, he rolls away, I like to use my elbow on the other side. So turn away, like to your knees. Yeah. I just like to hang on. It's not 100% control, but you're blocking it, right? So this is really useful. Just play with that for a minute with your partners. Yeah. So I can come in, and then he can't get his shoulders back down on the ground if I have good control right here, especially if I'm using my body weight. It's really tough. And then, if he starts rolling away, I love just using my elbow and go a little further. You can always just like pull him back. Right? So I'm not going to let you go at all. No, you're giving a little bit of looseness, but you're still controlling them. Okay? So play with that as we go into this next variation. We scoop. This time we can't lift him up as much. He's really strong and he keeps his shoulders on the ground. Or this is like what brown belts will do. I'm not going to give you that room. Okay, now we have to kind of massage our way in. We're going to do the same thing, but my shin is now going to be flat around his back right here. I just have to accept that's how it's going to be for a second. Then I pull my heel into his armpit, and then I pull this up. I can't get it in one motion. That's okay. And then we can finish. So you can go from Americana if you want. He rolls it down, and then he puts his shoulders on the ground. I'm not going to have as much room to insert my leg. So I just have my shin go along the ground, pull in with the heel, and then straighten that up. It's worth the extra step. You're almost there. The thing is, like, a blue belt wants to get it perfect in one motion. A brown belt will say, I can work with that. And get the shin down. As long as the foot is underneath his back, that's fine. Pull this up, and then extend, okay? So 2 little exercises. One, he tries putting his shoulders on the ground, and you kind of resist that. He tries turning to his knees. You don't let that happen. You just hold on loose. Second thing, we have it. He's putting his shoulders on the ground. Okay, that's fine. I can't overpower him and lift him up. I got to blend with it. Keep your shin in parallel with the mat. Pull the heel in, then make your adjustment with the shin, and then we can finish. All right? Let's play around with those motions. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's okay. Yeah. If that's going to happen, you will deal with it after you get your position.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do the same. Get this up.
Yeah, and I'll show different ways to break this.
Okay.
The final thing. Yeah. Okay. So it'll come later. But let me give you 4 tips here.
Yep.
What were tips? So he's super flat. Yeah. And just put your hand on your thigh right here. And then bring this up. Oh, see, it's hard for him to grab. Right?
Oh, nice.
And then you can go into it. But that does happen.
Yeah.
So of course we have to have like other ways to swim into it.
Perfect.
One more detail. Everyone's looking pretty good with the overall shape of the technique. He's almost totally flat. Much bigger player. I can't pull him up. He's resistant. Okay. So what I do is I grab my own thigh. Somebody pointed it out and I didn't even I feel I should mention it because it makes it a lot tighter. Hand goes out, I bring this along parallel, and I realize, okay, I'm gonna have to do some massaging here. Then I grab my own thigh right now, right? Then I pull my heel in, and as the shin comes up, that elbow will come away from his ribs naturally. It's along for the ride. And then you can either swipe it or you can come up, either way. But my friend Nick Gregoriadis came up, he told me the concept of open chain and closed chain. Closed chain is when the body connects to itself, and it's so much stronger than just, if you have this grip, it's hard to break it for an arm lock. You can, but it's hard. But if you're like this, it's not really that good. So anytime you can connect to your own body, it reinforces itself. So that's what we're doing here. We pull. We got the flat shin. Then I grab my thigh. When I pull the thigh up, the elbow comes along for the ride and gets out of position. Now it's really weak, and we can extend into that arm lock when the shin comes up, okay? So grab your thigh, and let's make it straight. 1, 2, 3. That was a really nice sequence that we did, Arm lock, we slide off, we hit the Americana, they roll it down, totally realistic, and then we get it, and then we insist on, it's not a perfect position, but we're going to make it happen. We're going to make it work anyway. Once you get a little more experience in jiu-jitsu, it goes from, I have to get everything perfect right away, to, I can work with this, to, I've got my position, and you have the confidence to turn it into something really good. So the victory in your mind comes earlier and earlier and earlier. Just think about that. Like, you don't necessarily have to give up on things. You have to work with things, work with the position, work with the submission, and don't take the first no for an answer. Okay, let's have a 5-minute break. 1, 2, 3. How do you get an armbar from the guard? Typically, I'll show you kind of the way I show it on blue belt requirements, and then what they consider an advanced arm lock from the guard. Adam Wardzinski showed it. So in blue belt requirements, I use it more as an exercise in learning how to turn your hips and use your leg to generate momentum to change your body position. So you can grab the sleeve. This is like the most basic way of just like showing the shape of the technique, not necessarily how we would use it in combat, right? So foot on the hip, I start to rotate my body and I shoot my arm underneath the hamstring, and that can help turn me a little bit more. Lock this heel down, leg goes over the face. With the little kids, you can teach them to cross their ankles. Sometimes that's easier. But adults, we need the real detail of like turning your foot to the outside. And now that makes it really tight. So this is just the basic armbar from guard. Okay. Sometimes when you show this to beginners, they're used to like, I put my foot on the hip and I make space, right? But you don't want to make space. You want a pure pivot. Occasionally beginners will do this, like, why can't I get the arm lock? Because you didn't pivot, you made distance, right? So it's a pure pivot underneath. The further you are underneath your partner, the easier the arm lock is going to be, and the easier it is to sweep them and off balance them. So we're here, lock that down, throw the leg over the face. Don't have it going toward the shoulder. You actually want it like that. It's really hard to posture up when your heel is turned out. Mr. Harris showed me that a while ago, and I was like, oh my God, how great. Now, here's another variation. You can do a cross grip on the sleeve, and you have a collar grip right here. So now we're doing the same thing, but we just have an easier way to control their posture as we go into the same technique. And you can use your elbow here if you want. I often do. Or you can use your hands. Either way is fine. Okay? So you can do the basic way or the cross grip in the collar and the sleeve, foot on the hip. Don't make distance, just pivot. If you want, you can roll that into his neck just a little bit to make him think. Heel goes out, hips up, And we have our basic arm lock from the guard. Does it ever happen like that? Sometimes, sometimes it happens like that. One thing that I use to kind of check if people are ready for blue belt is if he puts his forearm on my throat, am I going to be able to turn the right direction, right? If he puts a forearm on my throat and I try going this way, this is terrible. It's not a solution, and it makes it worse. So you have to know to turn in the direction of like their hand. And I think this is a nice way to it's a sensitivity drill. So as he starts to put that forearm on the throat, I want to turn, rotate, and not get caught underneath here. And now I have to start to turn. He can block me, right? I want to get so that's an automatic response. He puts the other one on my throat. I like to put my forearm on his throat. Why? So I can hold that space where my leg is going to go. And you can get it here, but I always like to pull to the side and then dump them over. Right? We can go over the flower sweep in a second and the angles of that. But to me, an educated jiu-jitsu person will never attack like that. But someone on the street or someone drunk will just try to dominate you. And you have to know how to flow with that really easily. I might show another option from that technique too with a pretty funny story. But so let's just have our partner put the forearm on the throat and be, he's not leaning back, he's leaning on me. He wants to dominate me. So I get the forearm under the throat immediately. I'm reaching with my hand under the hamstring, and then I pivot and I throw my legs over. Then I like to pull sideways. Check it out. Most people push back into them, which pushes into the knee. You have to pull sideways. The angles are important. Pull sideways, and then dump them over, and then finish with your arm lock. One more time on the other side. He puts the forearm on the throat. I should be turning by now, right? He puts forearm on the throat. I want to be turning. Then I pull him sideways till he almost hits his head, but he doesn't. Then you can stop and finish. Okay? So forearm on throat, sensitivity drill into the sweep. Okay? 1, 2, 3. And I want to go over the angle because I see some of you making that mistake of driving directly into him instead of at 90 degrees with the knee. So, we'll just kind of do like our regular arm lock we were doing before. Okay? And then here's the thing. A lot of people do the flower sweep where they throw the leg off, but then they drive into the person. And you're just going into their power, into their base. Where does he not have base? He has one knee on the mat, 2 knees on the mat. The third point of the triangle is going to be right here, right? So I want you to go slow and pull sideways. Then kick the leg underneath and come out on top. Okay. On the other side, we'll just go back to that basic original arm lock where I'm coming into position. But so many people, it's so common, they push with the hamstring because maybe they ride the bicycle too much. I don't know. That could be a thing in this country. So throw big circle and pull sideways with your knee. Big circle, pull sideways with the knee. And see if you can do it in slow motion like this. Cut the leg underneath. Keep holding that hamstring. When he kicks it down, boom, it's a nice time to go right to the neck with your fist, just to distract him. Okay? So let's play the game of the slow motion flower sweep. Oh. Throw it out to the side. You get the party started with the leg. You generate the momentum with the leg, then pull sideways, cut the leg underneath, and then come out on top. You can use your head here. When it kicks that down, boom, we're right into a distraction. The hands come up, and now we're into okay. The rest is bonus. just focus on the flower sweep. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Let's talk about why you would go into the flower sweep from the arm lock. Because it seems like I have the arm lock right here. Why wouldn't I want to just finish it? There are two things that they can do. One, they can stack you, and which makes it difficult to extend your hips. And number two, they can crowd you out with their head so you can't get your leg over their head. And either way, the flower sweep is a really good option. And in fact, sometimes you don't even use a flower sweep. Sometimes you just use that same angle and the same pull with your knees to get into it. So number one is, let's see. So so we go into it and he stacks me. He stacks me on my shoulders, and I'm trying. Like I push up, he's got his weight. You know, I can't really go back anymore. So the answer is to go sideways, right? Sideways, and then we finish. But most people get fixated on like, I have to extend. I'm really close. You're not that close. If he's stacking you, you're not that close. You're not going to be able to overcome it with power. You have to off-balance him. Off-balancing is equivalent to a submission. Like he starts to stack me, put the weight on my shoulders. I am not going to be able to get it unless I can spin out underneath, which usually they have to stack one on your head. We might go over that. But right now, just use the power of both knees laterally. So you just come sideways, push him, and then finish, okay? Alternately, if he crowds me out with his head and if I can't get the leg over the face because he's crowding his head down, then I might go to his shoulder, okay? Again, pull sideways with the knees. I love this one. It's easy, it's so easy. I hook his wrist and then I throw the leg over at the very end, okay? So either way, the answer lies in adjusting your angle, not in pushing up with more power. On the other side, he crowds me out. I'm not able to get that over. That's fine. Cross your ankles, go over his shoulder. You might even need to push into him so that you can rock him and then pull him sideways. Just throw the leg over the face, and then we have our arm lock. So whether you're stacked or they crowd you out with their head, pull 90 degrees with your knee. Okay? Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. I'm glad you. Okay, so you crowd me out. So you might need to. It was okay. Like here, that's fine. You might need to generate a little momentum by pushing up and bouncing, right? Kind of rock up here, then you take them over.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. I think it'll be a little easier. So I think it's important, especially for small players, to know how to get out of the stack. So what I showed you is pretty good. Most people will stack you on your shoulders, and then you can kind of bounce into them or just bring them to the side. That's really high percentage. I guarantee if you go to that top knot and then sweep them over, you'll either sweep them or get the arm lock. It's very high percentage. But what if they stack you on your neck? Then you have to know how to turn out of it. So I call this like the full circle of the arm lock. So I'm here, he stacks me on my shoulders. I might have a chance then, but a little more on my neck. Oh, I don't want to live here very long. My arm goes from the hamstring to the other side of his thigh. And then I just spin out the other side. Sometimes they roll out, sometimes you get it right there. But you have to know the escape route. You have to know. And if you watch a fight like old school MMA like Fedor, he loves this. When he goes against people like Hongman Che or the Giant or Mark Coleman, he's spinning out. He actually wants to spin out immediately because he knows those guys are going to smash him, right? So he goes up for it And he's looking for this leg immediately. So as soon as they start to stack, he goes into the arm lock, right? You need to know, just like the sensitivity of they put the forearm on your throat, you have to know which way to turn and when to throw your legs up. Same thing here, you have to blend with it and cut underneath. So let's do it a couple more times. So we're taking our arm lock, he's stacking on my neck. If it's not on the neck, it's gonna be hard to, you just do the other one. You know, you can just, and I showed some people you push and then you take them over. You know, if it gets a little stale. If they're giving you the energy, you don't need to push into them, you just take them over. So if it's on the shoulders, that's what you do. But if it's on the neck, you do not want to hang out there. It's not worth it. Same side. I'm here, it's on the neck. First thing, I go to that far leg. Cut underneath. Pull the knees together, and we can take the arm lock. Sometimes they roll out. Well, you catch the leg, and you can have many leg positions and finish the arm lock. This could be over here, you know, it doesn't really matter. What matters is tight knees and thumb up. Okay, one last time. Let's go like this. And you'll be able to see the hand coming out on this side. So I go from the hamstring, he stacks me, I immediately look for that knee so I can push off and cut under. We have first one, if he rolls out, totally fine, and we finish with the arm, okay? So let's go through it slow, gentle stacking with your partners, and then kind of guide them. You have to tip them up on their neck so it's easy for your partner to slip out, okay? Let's play around. 1, 2, 3. I need you to take them a little further. You got it. I'm gonna give you one more technique here. This is not really an arm lock, but it's another way to deal with the forearm on the throat. Then we'll take a little break. But this was one of my early students. He was a purple belt. He was in England. And this was like 2011. It was rare to be a purple belt then. Jiu-Jitsu wasn't that popular. And he went to a party. I couldn't believe the story he told me. He went to a party and someone said, "Hey, Steve, we know you do Jiu-Jitsu. There's an MMA guy here who is 7-0 and he submitted everybody. You know, would you like to meet him?" And he said, "Yeah, of course. I'd love to meet this guy." So they bring him over to meet him, and it's a huge guy. And he was like, "Yeah, 7-0, undefeated." And he's like, "Well, yeah, I hear about this technique that you have that gets everybody. I'd love to see it." And he's like, "Oh yeah, let me show it to you." And it was this. And he put the forearm on the guy's throat and choked him.
Okay.
And I was like, "What? Really?" And Steve couldn't believe it. Like, that's it? I thought it'd be an exotic guillotine or something. No. It's just that horrible, like, beginner's move. And the guy said, "Yeah, what would you do in that situation?" So this is what Steve did. And I'm showing it, one, to show that, you know, sometimes people think that they're really good when they're really, that's like the worst move to do. And also that it's not necessarily the armbar. I showed the armbar from that technique, but if you are in that position, maybe you don't want to do the armbar because you know there's a risk of being stacked. So you're always weighing like risk reward. You play the percentages. What's going to get you the win? So Steve didn't want it. Of course, he could have arm locked him, but he thought, nah, maybe he's anticipating it. So he did a different technique, which is what I'm going to show you. And this is how he beat the guy in about 5 seconds, okay, at the party. And everyone was watching.
So it was 7-1.
Yeah, 7-1. So the guy puts the forearm on the throat. So he pushes him away with his legs and passes the arm. He hips out and then does a thigh sweep right into a head and arm choke. And the party was like, oh my God, oh my God. They didn't even know what they saw, but it was amazing, right? So we're going to do that right now, just so everyone has that in their back pocket if you go to a party and you meet an MMA champion, right? So it's pretty easy. He puts a forearm on the throat. There's a lot of friction right now, so I push him away with my legs and pass the arm over, and then I bring him back in on the other side. I mean, it is possible to do a head and arm triangle or like an arm triangle from here, but it's tough. So we adjust, we hip out to the side we have blocked. I push out his knee, and I pull my shoulders back too. If you end up in the mount, then just dismount. Bring one leg up, get your head as low as possible, and then roll your shoulder in and get the tap, okay? A lot of people will try to arm triangle from here, and this is not very good leverage. I want to get my head as low as I can, low. And then I push. I tighten my wrist, and I roll my shoulder in at the very end, and it's super duper tight. In fact, you don't even need that other hand. You can just come in and do it. Okay, one last time. I'll do it on the other side. Just balance things out. Push him away, just enough. Pull him back in. I move my hip out. I'm gonna push on his knee, but this is like elbow escape, right? Elbow escape. Elbow escape. Right into the arm triangle. And then get your tap, okay? Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Push your leg. I pull him back in. On the side where it's blocked, I move out. And then I push his knee as my elbow comes in. So I'm opening up. Try it. All right, so a lot of techniques on the arm lock. I want to give you guys another, let's have a 10-minute break. We'll kind of reset, get some water, have some stroopwafel or whatever you have in your bag. And then we'll come back and we'll do defenses. What to do when they block the arm lock. Just so you know that however you earn that arm lock, you're not going to be thwarted at the end. You're going to have an answer for them. Okay? So 10-minute break. 1, 2, 3. We'll just finish it with something easy. Just overcoming their late stage defenses so you can finish that arm lock. Because you probably worked hard to get it. And you need to just insist. Insisting doesn't mean that you're mean. It just means that you know what you want, right? So we have an arm lock here, and yes, this is good. Sometimes when you want to just hold somebody in the position and make sure they don't escape, you do cross your ankles and pull in. Danaher's a big fan of this. It's a big fan of keeping this kind of pressure, which is totally fine. So we'll go with kind of the basic, they have their hands clasped. So there's two main options here. Number one, I swim. I have his elbow hooked. A lot of people try to get the arm lock right here. This is a waste of energy. It's good to hold, but you're not going to finish it here. You need to swim your arms up. 1, 2. I need to go a little higher. You need to get all the way up to his wrist. Okay? I grab my own gi, and now I fall 90 degrees to the side on my shoulder. Boom, right there. Then straighten it out, and it's going to straighten quick. So please, go easy. Go easy as you're straightening it out. You might be shocked at how quickly they yelp or they tap. You hold it in position. You swim it up. Sometimes 3 is enough. Sometimes you don't want to do it with the bottom one. The bottom one will leave you vulnerable to getting stacked, okay? You need to have it be the top one, and now this arm, if he tries to swing his legs up and stack me, I can block, okay? So go all the way up to the wrist, and don't go backwards, just like the flower sweep. It's about cutting 90 degrees. So I fall on my shoulder, and it just takes a little extension, and it's going to go straight really easily. Right there. Last time. So he crosses. I can hold it in this position. I want him to know there's kind of a psychological game going on. He's thinking, you got me here, but I'm not going to give you the last thing. I want him to know that I'm patient and I can hold you here all day. I'm in control. Swim your arms up, grab your gi, fall 90 degrees on your shoulder, straighten it out slowly, and get the tap, okay? Okay, defense counter number 1. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful, really good control. Okay, so just two little options here for if it's so one option if they push, sometimes you're in this position, they push that, they use both hands to push that off, and then they staple their head to that knee. That's a good escape. And then if he can then get his shoulder over my thigh and turn in, he has a good, he totally thwarted me, and I didn't waste energy, but he definitely beat me to that, okay? So one way you can get out of this is I have the arm, it can be either arm, he does that, he throws it over, and then I move my body so that I can thread my leg through, and then I can get a triangle here. At this point, I like to go up to the wrist. Danaher does this. He turns it into an Americana. I tend to just go right to my hip and then take the arm lock. Okay, this is pretty good. Converting an arm lock into an arm lock from triangle. Hey, it's basically the same thing. So he puts the head on. If you can use this leg to thread it, like push that away and then thread it through. If you can bury that foot on the other side, that's even better, because then you can start to really adjust. Maybe you take Kimura here, you have all these options. You have Americana, you have just your regular straight. If your foot is out here, that's okay, but it would be a little safer if you could bury it. Okay. So one last time, and then we'll let you go. Okay. So I have the arm lock. He pushes that off. He staples his head to it. Boom. My leg is up. I thread it through. I try to get it to the other side. I'm really into climbing up and grabbing that wrist. We have Americana. Tap number 1. Tap number 2 is the straight. And don't sleep on the Kimura. All 3 options are available to you. Okay? Arm lock to triangle to arm locks. 1, 2, 3. What a pleasure it was to share techniques with you today. I've been really, really fortunate in my life to just meet so many cool and dedicated people to the art of Jiu-Jitsu. Jiu-Jitsu is an investment, It may not seem that fun. I mean, it's fun at first, but the more time you put into it, the better it gets. And at first, Bart and I were talking, at first it's all about, I tapped that guy. Oh my God, this is so good. You daydream about how you could use this. But then over years, you never use it in real life in the physical sense, but you learn how to blend with people. You learn how to avoid confrontation. You realize that there are creative solutions that don't involve force on force, which is usually people's first instinct. So it becomes much more about the friendships and just being physically fit and the social interactions more than the technique. So I appreciate the social element that we had here today. I appreciate your attention, and I appreciate Bart for bringing me out.
You're welcome. Thank you, Roy.
My pleasure.